Shakur Stevenson exposed. Hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. I gotta chop the man up. Pause. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. I got a couple videos where I gotta go in and talk about what Shakur Stevenson is doing. The man needs a PR person like yesterday. He keep doing these interviews and these quotes keep getting sent to me and clips, and I'm gonna let you listen to it. This is from The Art of Dialogue.
Yeah, it's crazy. They sit there and tell you like, oh, so other fighters had a rehydration clause and you had a problem with it. At that point in time, yeah, because at the end of the day, you fighting at a weight class that you fight at. If I'm at 135 or 140 and I put a rehydration clause on somebody when it's like, bro, I'm fighting at this weight already, that don't make sense. But I'm a 126 pounder. That's where I started at. Going up all the way to 147, and I'm not even a real 47. I'm nowhere near that. Like, the guys at 47, they walk around 25, 30 pounds bigger than me. If I'm going to fight them, just like you watch Conor Ben, nobody had a problem when Conor Ben just whooped Chris Eubank ass. And when he whooped his ass, you could clearly see the fighter was dead. Nobody had a problem. They loved it. They sat there. Oh,
See, this is the problem I have. I know, like you know, I'm the best in the business and it's not even close. The danger, this is what's happening. The danger with people like Shakur Stevenson when it comes to arguing or debating, they will say something that is incorrect, and me being the best in the business and it's not even close, I spot it instantly. But these fighters, they found a new slick way. They say they hate boxing media, so they won't have some of these quotes, and they always end up on non-boxing platforms, right? In that case, you could get away with it because it's not and it's not a diss to other platforms. You have a non-dedicated, boxing is a complex sport, right? If you talk to people who don't really know boxing and follow it every single day, then they're not gonna, it's a niche sport. So people aren't gonna know what you said was cap or not when they don't even know what an up jab is. They don't know what a check hook is, right? They don't know like kind of baseline things of boxing. So that's what people like Shakur. So I had to cut him off because I can't listen to what people say without having a counter. I got to count. Ha, ha, hoo, hoo, ha. Like I got to get my counters in. And then y'all going to pay for it. Cash App, Super Chat, likes, share the video, engage with the video if you gain any value in game and knowledge from Sir Boxing Ego. Now, let's go again. This would get Shakur in trouble. I am the most articulate, eloquent speaker in boxing. Follow closely. He is facing backlash for being hypocritical. Saying that Tank weight drain Ryan Garcia, put on a rehydration clause in the contract, wompty. Only to later say, if I were to fight Conor Ben, a guy I was getting Brody with on Ariel Helwani's show and saying I want to fight him. He even said he would fight him at 154 if I'm not mistaken. If I fought Devin Haney, I got to tax him and put these rehydration clauses. So I've already made the videos. He's been exposed there. Fans picked up on it. They're like, man, Ego cooking, right? Man, Ego cooking. This is very hypocritical of Shakur Stevenson to now be requesting rehydration clause. But listen again, I'm going to tell you where he messed up.
yeah, it's crazy. They sit there and tell you like, oh, so other fighters had a rehydration clause and you had a problem with it.
Mind you, he said it's crazy. I'm going to show you how it ain't crazy. And the funny thing is, Shakur Stevenson is, everything he's saying in this new interview is a response to the videos I've been putting out. So he's kind of subbing me without saying my name. But it's cool. So, because I know he's seen it. He all over the internet. But whatever. He's saying, oh, it's so crazy how they try to shift the narrative. I'm going to explain. I got y'all.
At that point in time, yeah.
What had happened was at that point in time, but
because at the end of the day, you fighting at a.
See, when people talk like that, you know they're not cooking. What had happened was, but at that point in time, at that specific moment, what had happened was the way, bro, stop.
You fighting at a weight class that you fight at. Because at the end of the day, you fighting at a weight class.
Because at the end of the day, you are fighting at a weight class
that you fight at.
If
I'm at 135.
If I'm at 135.
Or 140 and I put a rehydration clause on somebody when it's like, bro, I'm fighting at this weight already. That don't make sense.
You explaining don't make sense, but keep going.
But I'm a 126 pounder. That's where I started at.
Bro, you're not a 126 pounder. That's the top rank special. Let's start there. That's a top rank special where they put Lomachenko at featherweight when he fought at the World of Boxing, which is basically boxing, pro boxing rules, and he fought at like 132 or 130 something. But then when he turned pro, he cut more weight because he was still, even though he's older from being in 2 Olympics, he was like 26, so he was able to make the weight cut. So Top Rank is notorious for that. They'll start you in a smaller division because they groom you, and they're just trying to cook up and pad up your record, right? So they'll start you lower than you need to be, and then it don't last long, and you're pretty much forced to move up. So, and then also the benefit of that is for Top Rank, because the way they market is like accolades and kind of like Terrence Crawford. So now they started you off at this weight class where you didn't really even need to start at. But then when you move up, inevitably, because you're too big for the weight class that they started you at, right? And as you get older, it becomes harder. Then now they could be like, oh, it's a 2-division champion. You see how that works? So while you're young in your 20s and your body's more forgiving and pliable, they'll start you at a division underneath where you probably really, like based on your walk around weight, your height, your frame, you probably should have started at 30, but they start you at 26. So you make the sacrifice for a few fights, beat Joet Gonzalez for a belt, boom. Now, when you move up to 30 and do the same thing and beat somebody, oh man, Shakur's a 2-division champ. Then you move to 35 and become a belt holder. Oh, he's 3-division. And then now if you beat Tio, oh, he's 4-division. You see how that works? You see that? Set up punchline, set up punchline. Just a candy wrapper with 4 bars. You a Kit Kat. You see how easy it is to predict that? Let's see who knows that. Set a punchline, set a punchline. That's how you spit that? You just a candy wrapper with 4 bars. You a Kit Kat. See how easy it is to predict that? Let's see who knows what they talking about. Bro, I'm about to cook this boy. I'm about to cook. I'm unbeatable with these debates. Come on.
Going up all the way to 147, and I'm not even.
All the way up to 47. Now, again, the Karen mode, the victim mode activated. Like, you're just this tiny guy, and going to 47 is just so beyond where you should be, blah, blah, blah.
In a real 47, I'm nowhere near that. Like, the guys that.
Bro, I am about to cook this boy. Oh, my God. This man, hold on. Just to prove my greatness and that I'm right, he's going on a podcast saying, man, I'm just so small. I started off at 26. I'm at 35, maybe going to 40 for the TO fight, but I'm not even a big guy like that. I'm not, why should I da-da-da-da? I'm not even a 47 pounder. Well, guess what? This is a whole litany of photos, and this is a more recent one. And this is you with Terrence Crawford, right? And this is after he was already moving up. You don't look that small. This is Crawford when he was at welterweight after he beat Errol Spence. So you keep talking about how small you are. You don't look that small next to a person at that time who was an actual welterweight. And here's the thing. There's so many pictures of y'all together. You don't look that small. So what are you talking about? And here's older pictures. And you're trying to act like you're this tiny dude. So to front and explain the hypocrisy of what you said, you're trying to make it like you're a tiny dude. That was when Crawford was at 47. You don't look. People would think you were in the same weight class. Point blank, period. They would think you're in the same weight class, right? They would think you're in the same weight class. And he was like, man, I'm not a 147 pounder. Trying to make it like he's Tank. Bro, this man really want to be Tank.
The guys at 47, they walk around 25, 30 pounds. Going up all the way to 147. And I'm not even a real 47. I'm nowhere near that. Like, the guys at 47.
You're not a 47 pounder because you haven't made the move, because you probably prefer to make the weight cut because you know the fights will be harder at 47. But it's not based on the fact of your frame can't move. Like, nobody is a weight class above them until they actually make the plunge up. You see what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, you're not a 47 pounder given the fact that you haven't fought at 47, but your frame definitely could support moving up to 47. If you stood next to Floyd Mayweather, you're probably bigger than Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd and Pacquiao, same another person. Pacquiao would look tiny next to Shakur, right? These guys fought at 47. Shane Mosley went from 35 to 47, did a couple tune-ups, and then fought Oscar De La Hoya. But you're saying you're legendarily good, but you're not willing to do what Pacquiao, Floyd, Shane, and people like that before you did. Even Adrian Broner moved from 35. See, people sleep on Broner because of wherever his career's at now. But I lived it. Broner went from 35, chopped up the best person there, Antonio DeMarco at the time, had a fight with Gavin Reese, and then moved up and beat Paulie. Ah, man, you know, AB, I took his belt and his girl, right? Then his next fight, he fought Maidana. You would never do that. You would never do that, bro. But I haven't even got to the good part.
Walk around 25, 30 pounds bigger.
Oh, they're so much bigger.
If I'm going to fight them, just like you watch Conor Benn, nobody had a problem when Conor Benn just whooped Chris Eubank ass. And when he whooped his ass, you could clearly see the fighter was dead. Nobody had a problem. They loved it. They sat.
So the fighter was dead, so you want to do the same by stifling Devin Haney, who's pretty big. So if you put him on a rehydration cap at 47 even, that would hurt him. And Conor Benn just came from 160. So even if you felt that Chris Eubank Jr. was dead at the scale, which I agree to that, right? So you're trying to do onto others the same thing.
There, oh, Conor Benn is so great. He's so good. So if I say I'm gonna fight Conor Benn at 147, but I want the same rehydration clause that he put on Eubank.
How do you get the terms from somebody else's fight? Explain that. How do you get the terms that another ninja had from his personal contract that had nothing to do with you put on your fight? I don't get that. That's like saying, oh, Canelo, he had these favorable conditions when he fought Billy Joe Saunders, so give me the Billy Joe Saunders deal. You're not the same person. So different time, like different year. The economy might be worse, so maybe the pay can't match what it was then or whatever. You know what I mean? Things change. So it's like how you get the deal from another person's contract.
What's the problem with that? Then they gonna say, oh, well, if you fight Conor Benn, you'll fight Devin Haney. So I'm like, shit, I will fight Devin Haney. Give me the same shit that Conor Benn that I'm asking for with Conor Benn. That if they accept that, then. But it's like,
bro, a lot of explaining, not really saying much. You should just be promoting the Teofimo fight for real. Because now you're like making it, you talk all this head about you will beat Devin. Like, remember when Shakur got in the ring when Devin beat Lomachenko and Shakur was like, I'm the one, I'm the best. But now you're like, yeah, take this deal from the Chris Eubank fight and then I'll fight them both in the same night. Like, there's a lot of explaining. It sounds bad.
So many people just hate on me so much to where
victim. So many people hate on me. Yeah, that's what it is. So People aren't making sense and pointing out your hypocrisy. It's just they're hating on
want
you.
me to act like I'm contradicting myself. They want
They want you to act like you're contradicting yourself. This is unbelievable stuff.
that if they accept that, then, but it's like so many people just hate on me so much to where they want me to act like I'm contradicting myself. They want me to feel like I'm saying something out of the ordinary, but no, I'm saying something that's facts, bro. This is not my weight class. I'm not moving up to 47. Y'all keep asking and begging for me to move up to 47. I told you I'll go there for Conor Ben, bro.
Bro, get this man out to sport if he don't want to keep it real. Y'all keep asking and begging for me to move up to 47. It was you on Ariel Helwani's show that was calling out Conor Ben. And you were like, when you start boxing? He was like 17. And you were like, oh, I'm going to cook you. Ah. How did we do this? How is it the boxing fans or the media? How is it our fault because you got in fighter mode and start calling out Conor Ben at 47? And then when you did that, you weren't thinking about the future. So fans start saying, hold up. We want to see you fight Devin Haney, who just became a champion, good performance with Brian Norman. So the fans started calling you out like, if you could fight a beltless Conor Ben at 54 or 47, which you said, right? Then why can't you fight Devin in the fight we wanted to see for years since y'all first sparred when y'all was 15 or so, right? And then now you're doing all this backpedaling and trying to blame us for holding you to something. Y'all said go up to 47. No, you said you would go fight Conor Ben at his weight. And then now when people start putting your foot to the fire, you're like, oh, I'll fight him with a rehydration clause. And the real truth comes out.
Bro, this is not my weight class. I'm not moving up to 47. Y'all keep asking and begging for me to move up to 47. I told y'all I'll go there for Conor Ben, bro. That's what I told y'all. Other than that, why y'all just on my dick. That's how I look at it. People just be on my dick, like, truthfully.
Bro, Shakur should never get on the mic ever again. You're not seasoned. So you did all this explaining, didn't say anything. I countered everything you said, and I still got one more thing to really say. And you just summarized it. Y'all just on my dick. That's it. Bro, that is like probably one of the most ignorant explanations we've heard. You said all this other non-consequential stuff and then just summarized it as people just hating on you because they're hating, and that's it. They just on your dick. Man, come on, bro. He most dangerous thing, camera, mic, and a Wi-Fi. I told y'all. But anyway, back to his first point so I can finish cooking this man.
Yeah, it's crazy. They sit there and tell you like, oh, so other fighters had a rehydration clause and you had a problem with it. At that point in time, yeah, because at the end of the day, you fighting at a weight class that you fight at. If I'm at 135 or 140 and I put a rehydration clause on somebody when it's like, bro, I'm fighting at this weight already. That don't make sense. I put a rehydration clause on somebody when it's like, bro, I'm fighting at this weight already. That don't make sense. And I put a rehydration clause on somebody when it's like, bro, I'm fighting at this weight already. That don't make sense.
Okay. Now, you're about to fully get cooked by a YouTuber. You're the professional boxer. I'm not. I'm just a YouTuber. And you getting bodied by a YouTube ninja. Boom. So he's saying it doesn't make sense why Tank would need a rehydration clause on Ryan Garcia when you fight at the same weight class. So why would you do that? It just doesn't make sense. You heard it. I'll let you listen to it one more again.
Or 140 and I put a rehydration of the day, you fighting at a weight class that you fight at. If I'm at 135 or 140 and I put a rehydration clause on somebody when it's like, bro, I'm fighting at this weight already. That don't make sense. But I'm 100.
So before he went into victim mode about how he's not really a 47 pounder, even though his frame could fully support 47, he said, the reason I criticize Tank for the rehydration clause is because how are you imposing a weight stipulation, rehydration clause, when we fight at the same weight class? You know you done fucked up. You keep subbing Boxing Ego. You know you done fucked up. You done f***ed up right. Let me prove it. Boom. Gervonta Davis's box rec, right? He fought Ryan in 2023. And guess what? How do I know this, but the boxer don't? Here's Ryan Garcia. And before he fought Tank, he was not fighting at 135. And I'll prove it. So there you see the Tank fight, right? Gervonta Tank Davis, when he was 28-0, they fought at 35. Before that, Ryan Garcia fought at 140 pounds against Javier Fortuna. Okay. How does a boxer know less than a YouTuber? Okay. You said it doesn't make sense for Gervonta Tank Davis to have put Ryan on any type of rehydration clause or weight stipulations because they fought at the same weight class. But the two fights, not one, but two fights right before Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia was not fighting at lightweight. And I'll prove it. Boom. Javier Fortuna, Ryan came in, and Fortuna started off at like 130 or something. So he's not even that big of a dude. Ryan weighed 140. Then he fought at a catch weight also with Emmanuel Tiptoes, the African dude, and he was 138. So Ryan hadn't made 135 since the Luke Campbell fight, which was in January 2 years prior of 2021. Man, I'm good at my job. Oh, so Tank Davis had every reason to put Ryan on a weight stipulation because he wasn't making the weight, right? And Tank fought him at 136 because Ryan didn't want to have to be forced back down to 135. So Tank actually did Ryan a favor by agreeing to that plus 1 pound when that's not even a weight class he really didn't need to. How is Shakur getting cooked like this? You are the pro boxer and you getting cooked by a YouTuber. Ryan was fighting at catch weights prior to, and I've just proven it. So all of 2022, the whole year, he fought twice, and they were all fights where he was 138 and 3/4 pound to 140 pounds. That's why Tank was like, nah. We not finna do that. We not finna do these games. And why would you even challenge it? This is why you look crazy. Why would you even challenge it knowing how Ryan went in to Devin Haney fight and didn't even attempt to make weight? So that is further proof that Gervonta Davis made the right call by taxing Ryan and contractually holding him to that. So he didn't do any funny games like he did with Devin Haney. And then on top of that, he popped dirty with Osterine in the Devin Haney fight. So in your effort to not make it make sense, you just got cooked with all facts from a YouTuber, and it make perfect sense why Tank Davis would put Ryan on a rehydration clause. But then you're trying to make it like, oh, I'm not moving up to 147. I'm too small, right? You know who actually is too small? Tank Davis. Bro, look at Ryan. Ryan looks noticeably bigger even with weight stipulations. Ryan is physically bigger than Tank. You see that. And he's a power guy with speed. And to be honest, Ryan looked better, leaner. He looked fast as heck when he was like at this weight class. Now that he's put some muscle mass on, he's fast, but his fast twitch was even different, even more different when he was leaner, in my opinion. Look at how big he looks. So Shakur, look how big Ryan looked next to Tank. So you want to be Tank, bro. Tank, he had every reason to put Ryan on the rehydration clause. And you up here trying to explain away your sins by saying, oh, the reason why I criticize Tank is because y'all in the same weight class. They really weren't, because Ryan Garcia hadn't been adhering to the weight class.
Yeah, it's crazy. They sit there and tell you like, oh, so other fighters had a rehydration clause and you had a problem with it. At that point in time, yeah, because at the end of the day, you fighting at a weight class that you fight at. If I'm at 135 or 140 and I put a rehydration clause on somebody when it's like, bro, I'm fighting at this weight already, that don't make sense. But I'm a 126 pounder That's why I started at. Going up all the way to 147, and I'm not even a real 47. I'm nowhere near that. Like, the guys at 47, they walk around 25, 30 pounds.
Boom. Proof in the pudding. And to further cook y'all, I can't be beat, bro. Ryan previously said when Jake Paul was about to fight Hasim Rahman, if you sign a contract to fight at a weight and then later decide you can't because reality hit you, then that's on you. Don't agree to something you knew you weren't capable and then expect for everyone to just oblige you on your misstep. So Tank was smart enough to put the whatever weight stipulation on Ryan. Ryan agreed to the contract. And he told you previously, if you later decide you can't make weight, then that's on you. I'm showing you, I'm highlighting it for you. So boxing ego easily dismantles these fake talking points and narratives in boxing. Support the real. I showed you receipts. Support the real. Linktree in the description. Shout out to everybody on the Cash App. I've been getting them. Happy holidays to everybody. The super thanks or whatever it's called in the comments. I've been seeing them. I'm going to keep working hard and I'm going to keep cooking. But Shakur looked bad, bro. He looked bad. You did all this to try to justify why you said what you said when you were hating on Tank, and then now you still got cooked. You doing these new interviews trying to sub me and explain how you're getting crossed up and caught up. He should stop doing interviews. I told you, the more they talk, the more it will be used against you in the ego court of law. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new, but even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.